From WCPO 9 Sports, this is Sports of All Sorts.
What up? Welcome into Sports of All Sorts. I'm Reggie Wilson. The two crosstown teams are in fights for tournament bids, but look like they might be going in different directions. Both schools celebrated senior night this weekend, but only one enjoyed at the end of the night. On senior night, Trey Scott decided he didn't want to go out sad and played hero to rescue the Bearcats' night and possibly their tournament hopes. UC shot just 24% from the field on a strange night that even had Terry Nelson scratching his head at halftime. But the Bearcats rallied behind Jaron Cumberland's team-high 20 points and a career-high 12 from Mamadou Dyer. UC gets a first-round bye in the AAC tournament before lacing them up for a chance to dance on Friday. But the team feels like they've already been playing tournament basketball for a month.
I feel like everybody playing with like a sense of urgency. We know we gotta do whatever we need to do to win this game. Like whatever we need to do, we gotta win. And that's how it's going to be in the tournament, you know. And that's what we was figuring out, you know. We was, like in the beginning of the season, we went through a lot of adversity that we didn't know how to handle. And now, like I'm glad that we went through that in the beginning because it made us a team, the people, the players, like we all strong-minded now. So, I mean, it's just like, it feel like March now.
Joining me tonight to talk about those cardiac cats is UC color analyst and Cincinnati Basketball Hall of Famer Terry Nelson. Terry, what's up? How you doing?
I got my blood pressure back down to normal levels. I'm feeling good right now.
Yeah, so how fortunate are the Bearcats to come away with that win last night?
Well, they put themselves in positions to do incredible things. So they start out slow. They've been starting out slow, but then it's just their ability to scratch and claw and fight and do all the things necessary to come back and win games. It's like they go into this laser focus and they really resemble their coach at that point because John is a laser focused coach. And you can't distract him for what he doesn't want to do. And the Bearcats, once they lock into that mode, they're able to withstand flurries, they're climb back from deep deficits and then put on amazing shows.
Sounds like the essence of a cat, just scratching, clawing.
Remember the old Bearcats used to have those little scratch marks, those little claw marks we had on we need to bring some of that back. I think that was Adidas though, so we Under Armour.
Oh yeah, we can't do that. Can't be switching it up like that. So what does it say about Trey Scott? He admittedly said that he didn't have a good game. He had a bad game. But what does it say about his character and his resilience to be able to grit back and get that game-winning putback like that?
Yeah, I asked John, I said, post-game, I said, what did you say to Trey after the game, after you went through the line and all that stuff? He said that it wasn't his best game. Defensively, he was all over the place. He gave up putbacks. He let guys score on him. But just in typical Trey fashion, the work that he puts in, he came in as a rebounder and a defender and a hustle energy guy. And by the time he finished his career, he's a Player of the Year candidate, Defensive Player of the Year candidate as well. And then he gets an offensive rebound. The same thing that got him playing time early is the same thing that won and cemented his legacy in Cincinnati history.
That's awesome. I like you love to see it, as the kids say on Twitter.
He's an awesome personality. He's an awesome guy. He knows how to treat children. He knows how to treat people. He makes sure that when he talks to you, he looks you in the eye and shakes your hand. You just don't get that in today's, everybody want to give you dap and turn their head and all that stuff. But he's a guy that he's been well-schooled, he's well-mannered. His mother and father and Anita, the coach mom, and him really instilled some hardcore values in him.
That's awesome. A lot of media people in Cincinnati can't say any more good things about him. So it's cool to hear that from you. It just confirms what everybody else is saying. So let's switch gears to Jaron Cumberland. He's not 100%. Missed the last game in South Florida. They won without him.
Yeah.
He grits out a team-high 20 points in that performance. What does it say about his character that he was able to come out there and grit out that performance last night?
True warrior. I mean, you talk about a guy who's limping around. He doesn't put pressure on his left heel. Everything is on his toe. But when he gets the game and the ball is in his hand, he looks like he's got those infinity stones from, he's like, once the ball's in his hand, he's got energy.
Yeah.
He can attack the basket. He can shoot shots. The floater, that game is going on. But his ability to read and react and know what he can and cannot do. He's not going to tell you, the opponent, what he can do.
Right.
But he'll limit himself to doing what he can. He doesn't finish as well going left, jumping off that left leg floaters, but he spins back, gets to where he needs to go, and makes the shot going right. He's an elite finisher going right.
All right, we talk about Jaren. Let's talk about Mamadou.
Yeah.
He stepped up. That was a big-time performance from him, almost like a coming-out party, if you will. Do you expect these type of performances from him moving forward, and how much did he grow up in that performance last night?
Well, it was the same way in South Florida. You know, he helped win that game. He came in off the bench, had 8.7 rebounds, a couple block shots, really changed the momentum when the Cats go with this smaller, quicker lineup. Chris Vogt steps out. You bring in Mamadou. You bring in whether it be Chris McNeil or Javen Cumberland in that off-guard position where, you know, when Javen is your knockdown player, Mamadou is your rim protector. He's able to screen and hedge, get back and read ball screens, recover, go for a block shot. I just wish he wouldn't jump every time somebody looks in the air. You know, him and Trey Scott, when the guy pump fake looked in the air, if he was looking at the scoreboard, guys are already in the air waiting and hanging. But defensively, he gives the Bearcats just an added dimension that they haven't had in a long time.
Yeah, so we talked about it. Scott, Cumberland, they go legend in their last games at Fifth Third Arena.
Yeah.
But will this week be their last playing basketball this season? What do you see for them? What do you think their chances are to make the tournament? And do you see them maybe repeating in the AAC like they did last year?
It's possible. Yeah. It's literally on the heels of Cumberland. You know, he's a guy that we're going to have to see how coach and the staff manages Jaren. Does he play the first game? You know, possible against UCF or South Florida. Does he play that game or does he sit and rest? You know, how much will he have going 3 consecutive games, considering the fact that they have to win those first 2? But if they only win 1 or 2 and they rest and wait for that call, that's something, you know, the league champion, the conference tournament champion doesn't always advance in the NCAA tournament. The ones that go and get rest and that can have a full go going into the tournament, it's great. I don't know if they have the leeway to do that. I think they have to win at least 2 games because all the bubble teams, although they have lost, they also have conference tournaments to play in, which can help their seeding. All
right, well, let's talk about that other crosstown school that you don't like. The Musketeers lost a heartbreaker last night to Butler at the Cintas Center. It could prove costly for their tournament hopes. That's now back-to-back losses to close out the regular season. X is a 7 seed going into the Big East tournament, drawing DePaul Wednesday, who they've beat twice already this season. ESPN's bracketologist Joe Lunardi dropped Xavier to one of the first 4 teams out, Terry likes to hear that, of the tournament field after last night's loss. But the team is looking forward to making a run this week.
Everybody, all the media and everybody out there had buried us earlier this year and said, hey, we were, you know, kind of crapping on our team. And we stuck together and we kind of reappeared. And we have an opportunity. We got to do that again. You know, we got to do that again here. And we're going to see how unbreakable we are.
Whew, I like it.
Yes.
Well, UC fans have probably seen this Trey Scott game winner dozens of times since last night. But coming up, we break it down with how it came together with Hall of Famer Terry Nelson. Don't go away. Back with Terry Nelson at the touchscreen. It's time to get smarter with Terry coaching us up. Let's start with Jaren Cumberland in the first half playing Twister.
That's what he does. He's going to come over here. He's going to dribble this way, just set this bump screen up by Mamadou. He comes in here. He's going to have 3 defenders converge on him. 2 right here. He's going to spin move through that. This last defender is going to drop down, jump straight up, principle of verticality. Think he's got an easy block shot on Jaren Cumberland. But no, Jaren's going to continue to get downhill, twist it up, put it up off the glass. Only stuff you'll see from the player of the year in the AAC.
Just playing with him.
I mean, just out there on one wheel and then let you know, it's my house.
You love to see it.
Yeah, dipsy do. That's the dip. That's the do right here. Put it up off the glass, baby. And it's my house.
All right, let's talk about the do. Mamadou Dyer, he sent Fifth Third Arena up with this 3 in the second half.
Well, Jaren's going to get downhill, and what's going to happen is this guy says, no, you're not going to beat me, so we're going to sit over here and play a man and a half. So this is the man, this is the half. I'm going to stop you, and if you kick it out to do, I'll take my chances. He's a good 5 feet away from Mamadou.
No
Mamadou
respect.
doesn't even think about it.
No respect.
Catches that thing and lets it fly. If you don't know, now you know. At 6'9", he can shoot, he can handle, he can block shots, he can run the floor like a deer, and he can do this every once in a while. It's not a staple of his game, but he's been working on it.
It's a nice looking stroke right there. Let's go back to Jaren Cumberland here in the second half. Another tough bucket. And it's late in the game. They need these points.
Well, you all know that one of Jaren's patented moves is his left to right crossover dribble. So he's going to bait you with a little in and out left to right, think he's going to go left to right, pat that thing back over with his right hand, come here full speed. Once he spins, he puts that big derriere on you, knocks the defender over, and goes and puts it up off the glass. And then he comes back and has little words for him, let you know, not only is this my house, but you ain't strong enough.
Too little, is this?
It's too little, baby. Watch. Yes, sir, as he goes back down. This is a one heel. Now, he may lip on defense, but right now on offense,
he's got it.
He's got it. He's got the infinity stones in his hand, putting it up in the basket.
All right, the bucket that we've all been waiting for. Trey Scott, admittedly, bad game, but nobody remembers the bad game when you play hero and send all the fans home happy like he did.
Well, Jaren Cummins is going to draw, once again, a lot of attention. You're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads looking at the basket. Nobody's watching the block out right now because the time is dwindling down. Offensive rebound, perfect position, Keith Williams in the corner. The jealous rebounder, who I like to call Trey Scott, he runs in late, hustles in, pushes Keith out of the way, grabs the rebound and puts it into the basket. That's when I say jealous. Nobody else is going to make this play except Trey because he demands perfection when it comes to rebounding. Pushes his man out the way, gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up in there. I mean, Cumberland thought he had an and one right there. That's been called all game where he jumps into a defender who's not stationary. He gets the call. Instead, he puts it up just right for an offensive rebounder to catch it and put it in. Trey Scott, the same thing that got him recruited to Cincinnati in early playing time as a freshman is the same way he leaves the hustle play, offensive rebound, stickbacks.
Once again, you just love to see it.
Well, it's what Trey stands for. It's what Cumberland stands for, getting to the hole, and then all of a sudden you see the fruition of hard work put together in a body, which is Trey Scott right there. Didn't have this game when he came in, and here he is leading his team to a conference championship.
Awesome. Well, I know you're on your way to Dallas this week, Fort Worth area, I should say, for the AAC tournament. So you have fun, and we'll catch up with you.
Number 1 seed, baby, that's right.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you down the line.
Let's go Bearcats.
All right, coming up, Mike Dyer is with me talking high school hoops. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Moeller took care of Springboro 65-25 for the district championship, the 7th in a row for the program. That win also gave head coach Carl Kramer 600 for his career. Mike Dyer caught up with him after the game today and asked him what it meant to him.
That I've gotten old, that I've really been lucky to work at a very special institution that does attract and support, striving to be great. So I realize a lot of it's timing for me, and lucky I found that job. And then the people around, the athletes I've coached, the parents in our program, but maybe most of all the coaches I've coached with, the most amazing, selfless group of guys. I always feel embarrassed when I get this attention. And Mike, you know better than most because it's such a team effort for us. And those guys should be answering these questions and doing all that. So on behalf of them, I appreciate it.
Joining me to talk about Coach Kramer and the high school basketball state tournament is our guy, WCPO sports reporter Mike Dyer. Mike, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Reggie. Always appreciate it.
Good. How you doing tonight?
Doing well. And I was just listening to Coach Kramer there. It's really not coach speak. A lot of people might say, oh, he's trying to deflect the attention, the spotlight. Sure. It really is a team effort, and I've spent a lot of time with this Moeller coaching staff and the teams that they've had. Obviously, been up to Columbus the past 3 seasons, so it's really really interesting, dynamic to see Coach Kramer in this kind of arena, where he does get the spotlight.
For sure, yeah. So talking about Coach Kramer, how big is number 600? How big of a milestone is this for him? And they got him there in a major way today.
Yeah, very significant. Obviously, only 13 other coaches in the entire state of Ohio in terms of boys basketball have reached 600 or more wins, and so rarefied air. But I think if you ask Coach Kramer, if you asked any of the assistants, and I tried to talk to as many players as possible, they said, this is great for Coach Kramer, but hey, we're not going to go overboard in celebrating this because we know the journey is still to get to Columbus and to take care of business. They've won the past 2 state titles, and they want to make it a three-peat certainly in a couple weeks from now.
For sure. Quite the feat to do there. So the Crusaders, I talked about it. They got a win in a major way today. Big win over Springboro. Just how dominant is this team, and how far do you think they can go this season?
Very strong. Reggie, you're talking about 81-0 against Southwest Ohio teams dating back to 2016. It's really uncanny to think of the dominance that this program has had, and outscored Springboro 25-0 in the second quarter, and really the game got out of hand after that, and it was just kind of a Moeller had its way there in the third quarter, and you've seen the names over the past couple of years, whether it be Miles McBride, Jeremiah Davenport, Jackson Hayes, now in the NBA.
Yep.
And you see all the star power. This team doesn't necessarily have that. They're just good across the board. They have Logan Duncombe, junior forward, is getting a lot of Big Ten offers, has a Xavier UC offer as well. And, he's going to be a big-time recruit when it's all said and done. But you have other guys, Max Land going to St. Francis University in Pennsylvania. You have Alex Williams, a junior who's taken over the point guard duties this year as well. You have Will McCracken. The names go on, but you don't just have that one-star dominant player that they've had in the past.
That's crazy. It's crazy. So Moeller played in the second game at Cintas Center today. We're going to go back to the first one of the day. Lakota West taking on Beaver Creek in the Division I District Final early on. It's the Nate Johnson Show. Dunk you very much. Game tied. He's not done. A little later, Johnson with a little shake and bake into the J. Silky smooth right there. Thunderhawks up 4. How about a little more Johnson? You going out tonight, bro? Nah, I'm going to just lay up. And one, but he's not just a scorer. He's also a distributor. Dimes it to Jaden Coles. That's good from 3. Alex Mangold actually plays hero with the game-winning free throw after he made the game-tying free throw. And Lakota East, I should say, wins 33-23. So, Mike, you saw what Nate Johnson does. He was 3rd in the GMC in scoring this season. So, obviously, he's a dynamic player. How dangerous are the Thunderhawks with him on that squad?
I tell you what, if you ask Clint Atkins, their head coach over there, he says, this guy means everything. He's the man in his words. He's saying that he's already getting a lot of scholarship offers, a lot of attention paid to him, and really he helped set up that play that kind of made Lakota East get a beneficiary of that foul and put Alex Mangold at the free throw line. What a great story. Alex Mangold had a leg injury the 10th game of the season last year, had a long recovery, but 6'7" forward who's really made some strides and really helped this Lakota East ball club. Back-to-back district titles, that is, the 4th in program history, and they have a program record 24 wins going into Wednesday night. So got to be happy for the Thunderhawks.
For sure. It's funny you mentioned Mangold. 2 points today. Those two free throws.
There you go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So Deer Park plays CHCA in the Division III Regional Wednesday at UD Arena. How do you see this one stacking up?
Well, CHCA won their first district title, Reggie, this past weekend, obviously, and so a lot of good things happening for the Eagles, but face a tall task with Deer Park. 22-1 right now. Coach Steve Gentry has these Wildcats playing really well right now, and obviously everybody knows about 2 years ago when they went undefeated and won the D3 state title. Certainly, this is a program that needs to be reckoned with at UD Arena this week.
For sure. So I want to go back to Division II. Gone. Our team's just gone. How crazy is it that Wyoming was knocked off on Friday after being undefeated all the way up until that point?
Yeah, we heard about how this was the first undefeated regular season since the early 1960s there at Wyoming, and all the stars there, Isaiah Gentry, who you know well and have talked to, and Evan Prater. The names go on, but it just goes to show you anything can happen in a tournament. And you have a hot shooting performance from your opponent. Things go cold on your end. It just takes one game, and we saw that. Obviously, unfortunately for our area teams, Hughes and Purcell Marion as well, and Taft. Just couldn't get it done in the district level. But, a lot of great things to be proud of for each one of those programs to make it to that level, obviously.
Absolutely. So before we wrap up, just want to get to the girls' side. Probably the most dominant team out there right now.
Exactly.
Mount Notre Dame, undefeated, 28-0. And they don't look like they're slowing down. Do you see anybody slowing them down?
Well, they were losing by 11 points at the end of the first quarter against Kettering Fairmont. But to answer your question, Reggie, I don't think so. I believe in the state Final Four, they're gonna take care of business. 28-0, as you mentioned, number 3 nationally by Max Preps. You have a chance at a national championship, and it's really saying something. 10th time that the Cougars are in the state Final Four there in Columbus, and got to give a ton of credit to Coach Dr. Scott Rogers and what he's done with this program. But the players, he would be the first to tell you, have really stepped up on this journey, whether it be KK Bransford, the outstanding sophomore, reached 1,000 career points this past weekend, or Makaira Cook, the outstanding point guard, going to the University of Dayton. That 1-2 combination and tandem have really been incredible for the Cougars.
All right, so we'll see what happens with them. Rooting for them, you know, a national championship in this area, that's really cool for this area.
It would be quite saying something, that's for sure.
For sure. Well, Mike, I appreciate you taking the time. We got a couple more weeks left of these hoops, and I imagine your schedule is about to ramp up a lot.
This is a fun time of year, Reggie. I got to tell you. I mean, whether it be the girls' tournament at St. John Arena, the boys at the Schottenstein Center, you got the regionals obviously happening this week for the boys. It's a great time of year.
Well, Mike, I appreciate you stopping by on your busy schedule.
Thank you, Reggie. Appreciate it.
All right. We'll be right back to wrap up the show. Welcome back. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun, but we got to go. I'd like to thank my guests, Terry Nelson and Mike Dyer, for joining me tonight, and to my village, who helped put this all together. Thank you. And thank you for watching. So let's do it again next Sunday. Until then, have a good night and a very blessed week.